Miss Deborah, I got a question for you. So you've been a commercial realtor. When you out searching for these properties, are you dealing with a lot of people, or are you just dealing with one person, or how are you doing that? Like far as I said, the person reach out to you, they want to buy a commercial property. Are you dealing with like a group of people? They ask you questions, or is it primarily one person?
It depends if they have a high cash flow themselves and they're buying it for themselves. But if they are a group of investors, I'll all of them and provide them with a snapshot of what it will look like from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
So normally, if the capital is built between, so I have one gentleman who they build a lot, and so they will sit with me and then talk about. I'll have a main point person that I work with. He does a lot of restaurants here in the city, like club restaurants, and so he's like the point person for. I find it, and then he brings it back to them, and then they say, "Go ahead."
Yeah, I like dealing with point people.
Yep. I'll,
Yeah, because yeah, I mean, I don't mind holding
yeah.
conversations to get the meat of everything handled and discussed on a weekly basis or even daily basis. But as far as my requests for documentation or returns or call to actions, I want to make sure I got one person that is delivering that to the team, and normally it's the person that has the most experience because it's be or in that field. If there's multiple investors, not everyone that's investing in property in that group may be in real estate full time. It may be their first or second deal. So they normally will partner with someone that has that experience that they are raising capital with or going after a property with. And that person would be the kind of, like you said, the point person to make sure that all the information and things are handled on the buying side. Because it's a process. It's not just, most times you're not buying a property in 2 days. If you're getting a loan, then it's going to take several or a couple of weeks to get processed and underwritten. So they definitely have a lot of going back and forth going.
Correct. And the person that normally does it isn't the same person that the person I'm speaking to is telling the person to send me the paperwork. So they're normally not the same people. So I work with the person that's going to get everything executed, but they're not actually doing the actual work. They're more the person that's like, let me get, this individual to send it to you. And if else, CC me on that email. And that usually works best for me.
Yeah, I try to create group chains, or I ask them maybe create an email address that they both have access to, something like that, to just make sure that everyone's on the same page moving forward. But I'm not speaking that on 5 different phone calls and 5 different ears on 5 different times in the day, speaking to all the partners. That's kind of cumbersome.
So, what do you see your buyers pursuing right now? What kind of units are you doing? Mixed units or just residential properties, or what are you looking to see?
Typically, I am I'll be honest, bulk of my deals are just residential. Definitely multifamily, but I haven't seen too many 24. Normally small, under 4 to 8 units. So typically it's like maybe a couple partners in a building in a company buying that property, pooling their funds together in their company account. Yeah. What about yourself, Deborah?
Well, yeah,
I have a little bit of everything. I have a funeral home, like a mortuary, embalming is what it's called. That one I had to learn a lot. That was a learning curve for me. And actually seeing the bodies and stuff, I was like,
Yeah.
oh wow,
Imagine.
oh wow.
the way the place smells is
no thanks.
very. It was.
That's when you become a passive investor, though, right? We all gotta go one day. So here's my money. Call me. Hey, you ain't going out of business, right?
Right.
You're
Well,
never going out of business.
that the gentleman met me, I've only worked with his partner, and she would do all the things, but then he would come and see the facility, and he came right after like working on some bodies, and I was like, oh, so you came straight from work? Like, yeah.
Wow, wow, that's something.
for all of the stuff that goes in the drains. I was like, the stuff? And I was like, you know what?
Ooh.
I got to learn this because I need to know what I need to be asking, Now, old liquor store ended up working out because they have all those refrigerated areas where the drains are already built in. And
Wow.
so it was like trying to get creative with the thinking of what would work. And because they have liquor, they had a private entrance as well, where the bodies could go.
Wow.
Just you just gotta get creative. But I have a yoga studio, I have a restaurant, and I have a multi-unit, and then I have
how many units?
they aren't sure yet. They just have a price point that they want to stay within. And then I just had someone who flipped one of their properties and did really well on it because it was pretty much paid off. And so now he's like, what can I do with this money? And I said, well, let me look at what's available, what can be passive that you don't feel like you're, spending all your time on it. So, but I mean, multi-units are very hard to find right now.
You ever think about
Yeah.
introducing him to private lending?
So,
Get his loan secured by real estate.
So, for some people, they're trying to hurry up and buy something because of the tax implications. So, in order to
He's
do,
trying to buy something.
1031.
Yep, the 1031 exchange, and so
Yeah,
sometimes
gotcha.
they're to do, they want to use that money. They need that loss, and so, um, I'm trying to find creative ways in which I can show them different opportunities. And I have a person that does the 1031 exchange, and she's phenomenal. And so she usually tells them, hey, this is what your time frame is going to look like. This is your parameter, and this is how much you need to spend. And so that way they know. And so he has multiple rental properties in a different state that he's and bring it over.
Gotcha.